Find that person that can help support your vision, that understands and loves your vision, but that can also help you run a business.
Really looking forward to spending my life with someone who I deeply respect and care about.
The most powerful man in tech just handed one of fashion's most prestigious platforms to his wife.
For some jaw-dropping news that's got the industry buzzing.
Vogue, once the pinnacle of elite taste, is now in the hands of Lauren Sanchez. And insiders say this isn't just about love. It's about power, image, and a total shakeup of the fashion world as we know it. From boardroom whispers to runway panic, this move has left editors, designers, and even celebrities completely blindsided. So, is this Jeff Bezos making a romantic gesture or rewriting the future of fashion? Let's break it down. When Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez first became public knowledge, the world watched with raised eyebrows.
And because Lauren Sanchez is a journalist, it turns out that Jeff Bezos wants to buy the magazine for her. So
not because Bezos, one of the richest men on earth, was dating again, but because of how rapidly Lauren was repositioning herself from former news anchor and helicopter pilot to a central figure in high society. The relationship didn't just elevate Lauren's status, it placed her on a trajectory most people didn't see coming. Their romance played out across European yachts, elite galas, and red carpet appearances, but none of it felt accidental. Slowly, Lauren Sanchez began appearing at industry events typically dominated by media moguls, fashion tastemakers, and legacy celebrities. She was no longer orbiting power. She was stepping directly into it. And for insiders paying attention, the signs were all there.
Apparently, Jeff Bezos bought Lauren Sanchez Vogue as a wedding present, and now it makes sense why Anna Wintour stepped down. And all I have to say is,
one of the biggest signals came when Vogue, the fashion Bible, put Lauren on its July cover. To outsiders, this seemed odd. Lauren hadn't launched a billion-dollar brand, hadn't walked runways, and hadn't starred in any blockbuster films. What she had done was align herself with the most powerful man in tech and media. But even that didn't fully explain why Vogue, of all places, would feature her so prominently. At the time, the cover felt like a surprise, but harmless, maybe even a fluke. But now, with rumors swirling that Jeff Bezos is quietly negotiating to buy Condé Nast, Vogue's parent company, that photo shoot takes on a very different meaning. Industry insiders are whispering that the feature wasn't just a profile, it was a test run, a soft launch, a branding move.
I think no one works harder than Lauren Sanchez Bezos, as she literally has been married for not even 24 hours and she's already on the cover of Vogue.
If Jeff Bezos succeeds in acquiring Condé Nast, he wouldn't just be buying Vogue. He'd be buying The New Yorker, GQ, Vanity Fair. He'd be stepping into a realm historically ruled by media dynasties and handing the reins to Lauren Sanchez. And suddenly, the fashion world isn't just intrigued, it's terrified. Because this isn't just about fashion anymore. It's about control, influence, gatekeeping, and what happens when one of the most tightly held media empires becomes a billionaire's wedding gift. When Lauren Sanchez graced the cover of Vogue, reactions were instant and divided. Some applauded her transformation, calling it a moment of reinvention.
Meritocracy, but you can absolutely buy a Vogue cover. Exhibit A.
But many others, especially within fashion circles, were stunned. Vogue has long been considered the gatekeeper of style and influence, a publication that doesn't just follow trends, but defines them. So when Lauren, who hadn't been on the fashion radar until her relationship with Jeff Bezos, suddenly landed the spotlight, questions started flying. Why her? Why now? Insiders say this wasn't just a flattering profile, it was strategic. The cover's timing aligned suspiciously with internal shifts at Condé Nast, including growing rumors that Anna Wintour, who had held her title at Vogue for over 3 decades, was preparing to step back. On its own, that would have been massive news.
He'll continue as the Chief Content Officer at Condé Nast and the Global Editorial Director.
But combined with the whispers that Jeff Bezos was eyeing the entire Condé Nast empire as a wedding gift, it became clear this cover was no accident. And Lauren Sanchez? She wasn't just the subject, she was a symbol of changing tides, of power shifts, of money beginning to override legacy in a space once protected by heritage and taste. Fashion editors began murmuring about backdoor deals. Publicists speculated whether Vogue had essentially sold the cover to appease Bezos, warming him up for the acquisition. Some even suggested that Lauren's appearance was part of a broader negotiation tactic. Less editorial, more business move. And the industry didn't take it lightly.
She lived fast, died faster, smothered by Amazon basics, once the fashion Bible, now a landfill of Lauren.
Critics flooded social media with side eyes and skepticism. Fashion veterans called it a betrayal. Others feared it was the start of a new era, where billionaires could buy not just companies, but culture. Suddenly, Vogue's cover wasn't just about style anymore. It was about who gets to tell the story and who's writing the next chapter of fashion, with a pen dipped in Silicon Valley money. For nearly 40 years, Anna Wintour was the undisputed queen of fashion media. Her icy bob, signature shades, and ruthless standards shaped Vogue into a cultural titan. But now, in the middle of the Bezos-Sanchez firestorm, she's quietly stepping aside as editor-in-chief of American Vogue.
And this is the real reason why Anna Wintour is stepping down from Vogue. Jeff Bezos is buying Vogue for his wife.
At first glance, her exit seemed graceful. Just another high-powered executive choosing to pivot. But dig deeper, and the cracks start showing. Wintour claimed she would remain involved on a global level, overseeing operations at Condé Nast. But the truth? Her power appears to be slipping fast. Rumors say she wasn't just stepping down, she was stepping out of the way. Sources inside the company are whispering that Wintour didn't want to be part of what Vogue is about to become under Bezos' influence, or Lauren's. And the timing? It's too perfect. Lauren Sanchez lands her first ever Vogue cover, backlash brews, Condé Nast staffers are left fuming, and suddenly the most iconic woman in publishing is out.
It's as though she has no interest in ingratiating herself within the fashion community in the ways that we normally see from up-and-coming stars.
Some insiders even claim Wintour was politely forced to transition her role to make space for Lauren's looming presence. Because if Bezos is really buying the parent company, and Lauren is about to gain editorial influence or even leadership, then Wintour's decades of curated power would clash with Lauren's newly purchased seat at the table. For someone like Anna, who built her empire on taste, tradition, and exclusivity, being asked to play nice with a billionaire's bride may have been a step too far. The fashion world isn't just losing an editor, it's losing a symbol of independence. And in her place, a new figure who many believe didn't earn her place, but bought it. When Vogue unveiled its July cover featuring Lauren Sanchez draped in luxury and framed like royalty.
And this new Vogue cover, that is a recession indicator.
The fashion world didn't just raise eyebrows, it practically combusted. Lauren, a former journalist turned tabloid fixture and now wife to one of the richest men alive, wasn't exactly Vogue's usual pick. And yet, there she was, front and center, on a cover typically reserved for fashion icons, supermodels, and global changemakers. To the public, it looked like an odd but harmless feature. But for industry insiders, the alarm bells were deafening. This wasn't just a glamorous nod to a high-profile bride. It was a signal that something behind the scenes was shifting, drastically. Because let's face it, Lauren Sanchez didn't just land that cover by chance.
Who owns a magazine as a female and doesn't put themselves on a cover? I'm drawing a blank.
According to sources inside Condé Nast, there had already been whisperings of a potential Bezos acquisition. And the timing? Too perfect to ignore. Just weeks after her wedding extravaganza in Venice, she's on the cover of the world's most respected fashion magazine. That wasn't a photo shoot. That was a message. Insiders now believe the Vogue cover was a soft launch of Lauren's new role. Not just as a cover star, but as a future executive power in fashion media. And if Jeff Bezos was indeed eyeing Condé Nast, giving Lauren the cover would be a calculated move, designed to ease her into public acceptance, to legitimize her presence, and to send a subtle warning to the industry. The gatekeepers are changing.
A moment of silence for this icon. R.I.P. to Vogue. She served, she slayed, she's over.
Some even say Anna Wintour herself, the icy, legendary editor-in-chief who once famously kept her distance from celebrity gimmicks, may have been strong-armed into approving the cover as part of the internal transition. And if Anna knew what was coming, that would certainly explain her sudden step-down after nearly 4 decades at the helm. The backlash was swift. Fashion insiders accused Vogue of selling out. Critics pointed out how the cover felt eerily similar to corporate branding. Polished, glossy, but empty. Social media erupted with memes comparing Lauren's appearance to a tech billionaire's vanity project. And for many in fashion, it felt like a funeral. The symbolic end of Vogue as a cultural tastemaker.
Point of view, what fashion is for you, that you are only buying things that are expensive.
And the beginning of something commercial. Because make no mistake, if Bezos now owns the very company that prints the fashion Bible, then Lauren Sanchez isn't just his muse. She's now the most powerful woman in fashion. And the cover was just the beginning. As whispers of the Bezos takeover spread through the industry, panic began to set in. And not just among Vogue's loyal readers, but inside the offices of Condé Nast itself. Editors, stylists, and veteran fashion journalists were suddenly forced to reckon with a chilling new reality. The most influential voice in fashion media might soon belong to someone with no real background in it, except by marriage.
This theory is everywhere, but here's the thing. While these rumors continue to circulate, representatives close to Bezos denied the rumor, calling it totally untrue.
Sources close to the situation revealed that internal meetings at Vogue and other Condé Nast brands had grown unusually tense. Some longtime staffers feared their editorial independence would vanish overnight. Others suspected that if Lauren Sanchez took on a leadership role, even unofficially, the focus would shift dramatically from high fashion to high profile. As one insider put it, "We're not prepping for the next Met Gala anymore. We're prepping for Amazon Prime Fashion Week." And that fear isn't unfounded. Jeff Bezos has a history of transforming the media he buys. Just look at the Washington Post. Some call it revitalization. Others call it quiet control.
Jeff Bezos is implementing major changes to the outlet's opinion pages, adjusting what columnists can and cannot write about.
And now, if the fashion world's most powerful legacy brand is in Lauren's hands, there's a real concern that Vogue will become less about fashion authority and more about personal branding. Already, rumors are spreading that Vogue's future covers could heavily feature Bezos' inner circle. Not just Lauren, but their celebrity friends and high-profile allies. Think tech moguls, Amazon-backed designers, influencer entrepreneurs. Suddenly, the front row at Fashion Week might look more like a Silicon Valley boardroom than a runway spectacle. For many in the industry, it's a complete cultural reset. Fashion has always been about taste, vision, rebellion, and yes, exclusivity.
Okay, will still answer to her. She's just actually moving to a bigger role. It's just more executive suite. Now, my hot take, I would love to.
But now there's this fear that the values which made Vogue iconic might be overwritten by one man's checkbook and one woman's social aspirations. And the staff? Many are reportedly looking for exits. Editors are quietly brushing up their resumes. Some seasoned stylists are reaching out to rival publications. Because when the new boss isn't a fashion insider, but a tech billionaire's wife with an open checkbook, the future of the brand suddenly feels a lot less secure. It's not just a change in leadership. It's a seismic shift in identity. And for an industry built on carefully curated image, that might be the most terrifying change of all. As Lauren Sanchez continues her quiet climb to the top of fashion media.
Honestly, that dress is kind of ugly. I don't see no family. It's giving me a lead.
One question keeps echoing across boardrooms, press rooms, and private group chats. What exactly is the Lauren Sanchez brand? And more importantly, does it belong at the helm of Vogue? Let's be honest, Sanchez isn't exactly a stranger to the spotlight. She's been a journalist, a TV host, and for years, a tabloid favorite. But in the eyes of the fashion elite, none of that translates to the kind of cultural credibility needed to shape the global style narrative. Not when Vogue has historically been led by figures like Anna Wintour, iron-fisted tastemakers who command reverence on runways from Paris to New York. That's what makes this so jarring. Lauren isn't stepping into a mentorship role or collaborating on a capsule collection.
You need a solid business plan. You need the 5-year plan. You need someone within your company that...
She's allegedly taking control of the entire empire. And the fashion world knows exactly what that means. Covers could become more about connections than couture. Already her July Vogue cover raised eyebrows. Critics called it a payoff. Stylists said it looked more like a luxury Instagram ad than a fashion shoot. And now that insiders believe Bezos is buying the entire parent company as a wedding gift, that spread is being reevaluated. Not as a feature, but as a warning. Because here's the thing, Lauren Sanchez's style isn't subtle. She favors skin-tight dresses, plunging necklines, and a curated glam that leans more Beverly Hills than Paris Fashion Week. That's not inherently wrong. But when she becomes the new face of the publication that once set global fashion standards...
So you don't get the heat? This just shows it's not about fashion at American Vogue. This is about fashion. This!
It sends a message. One that's dividing the industry? Some up-and-coming designers fear their artistry will be buried under celebrity access. Others are privately worried that Vogue's reputation will morph into something more transactional. Less about vision, more about visibility. And let's not ignore the gendered dynamic here. While Jeff plays the role of business mogul making bold moves, Lauren is the one fielding the backlash. Is it fair? Not entirely, but it's the reality of the fashion world. An industry that's cutthroat even when you do come with years of editorial experience. For now, the so-called Lauren Sanchez effect is doing exactly what her critics feared, shifting the conversation away from fashion and toward influence.
The past 30 years with the world's least fashionable woman. It hurts my fashion girly heart.
Whether that's rebranding or the start of a reputation crisis, we're about to find out. Behind the glossy covers and billionaire headlines, the mood inside Vogue is anything but glamorous. Whispers of Jeff Bezos handing over the reins to Lauren Sanchez haven't just unsettled fashion fans. They've sent actual shockwaves through the publishing world. And now, insiders say the damage may already be done. At the heart of the tension is this. Vogue isn't just any magazine. It's the institution, a cultural force that shaped careers, dictated trends, and guarded the gates of high fashion for decades. But with a potential ownership shift to Bezos and influence flowing through Lauren, many are asking,
Lauren Sanchez is such an unlikely cover star, and the word is that she landed the July issue partly because the Newhouse family wants to butter up Bezos.
Is this still a magazine or a vanity project? According to sources at Condé Nast, staff morale has plummeted since rumors of the sale surfaced. Editors are reportedly questioning whether years of hard-earned credibility can survive a billionaire makeover. One insider even told Page Six, "It feels like we're being hijacked by celebrity cosplay." And they're not the only ones bracing for impact. Designers are privately debating whether a Sanchez-led Vogue can still be considered a career milestone. Stylists, photographers, and creative directors are already rethinking collaborations, worried their work will be diluted by social climbing and soft-focus fluff pieces. Then there's the business side. Condé Nast has been trimming its workforce, cutting costs, and reshuffling execs.
This was not a Vogue wedding cover. Now everyone's like, oh my God, this is why Anna's left. It all adds up until you read the source, which is
all classic signs of prepping for acquisition. Industry experts believe Bezos isn't just investing in fashion, he's consolidating media power. Remember, this is the same man who bought the Washington Post. Now, with Vogue possibly in the mix, he's cornering influence in both hard news and high fashion. But here's where it gets especially tense. Many insiders claim this isn't just about Lauren. It's about what her
the day
presence
prior,
represents.
Lauren sports
A new era where connections beat credentials, where access overshadows talent, where legacy brands get reshaped by billionaires with private yachts and PR agendas. To some, that's the end of an era. To others, it's the beginning of a marketing goldmine.
Her digital issue. No, to be honest with you. I think Anna has been secretly on her way out since the market.
But no matter which side you're on, one thing is clear. Vogue may still be in print, but the world it represented, that might already be out of style. With Lauren Sanchez rumored to be stepping into Vogue's inner circle, and Jeff Bezos possibly pulling the strings behind the scenes, the fashion world finds itself at a crossroads. What was once the domain of editors, critics, and decades of legacy now feels more like a billionaire's playground. And the people who helped build that legacy, they're watching it all unfold in real time with growing unease. Some see this as the natural evolution of an industry that's already intertwined with celebrity, tech, and power.
And you don't really have an idea of where they are because it's just a photo shoot. This is Vogue after Anna Wintour, November 19th.
After all, Vogue has long been used as a status symbol, but now it might actually be owned by status itself. Others are sounding alarms. If billionaires can simply buy cultural institutions, what happens to integrity? What happens to the gatekeepers of fashion? What happens to the dream that hard work and artistic vision alone could land you on the cover? The answer may lie in how the public reacts next. Will fashion lovers embrace Lauren Sanchez as a new age icon, or reject her influence as a threat to the culture they love? Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about one magazine. It's about who gets to control the narrative, and whether the world of fashion will let itself be rewritten.
I have no gifts, James. I don't sing, I can't dance, I don't write very well.
So now we're left with one burning question. Is Lauren Sanchez about to redefine Vogue? Or will the fashion world push back before it's too late? Let us know in the comments. Are you buying into this new era? Or does it feel like the soul of fashion is being sold off? If you want more breakdowns like this one, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss a moment when power, money, and fame collide.